So here's a question. Can you run World of War tanks on a potato? And the answer is no. So, how about a better potato? And for this I've got this lovely IBM desktop PC with its very unimpressive dual core it's got a processor. You can read 4 GB of RAM, and we got this crummy old AMD card from 2011. Quite a attractive machine in its own way. So this is the ARL 44. This is running on my normal rig, and you know, looks pretty good. Not the most brand newest machine, but looks pretty good. Now let's put it through the cheap potato computer blender, and things are starting to look a little bit shabby, and a little bit of graphics just popping in nice and slowly there. But you know, not great, but not terrible. What about artillery? Because you're not always going to need, you know, be looking at like weak spots and joints. So I'd say that almost looks the same. I don't think any graphics loss affects you whilst playing artillery. But I'm not a big arty player, you know. I've only got tier 6 on Soviet artillery line. Well, welcome to my Vomito Vision. On the left is the potato computer, and on the other side is my rig, which is like an i7 4770K, got 32 gigabytes of RAM, which isn't really important, and I got 2 NVIDIA 770s, again not brand new but more than enough. That's on the right, the potatoes on the left. Hopefully you're not going to throw up, but I had to fiddle with the resolution a little bit, but you can see the differences in quality and the way it affects textures. Very much tier 5 battle here in my Churchill 1. Nothing too crazy, but we can see how everything in the low level graphics is very sort of drab, but the game actually has a reasonable amount of contrast, which helps pick things out. You're not struggling to see anything. Nothing's harder to see in the lower quality graphics. Ugh, a bit horrible. Yeah, Churchill's not super fast, but quite mobile, and gonna get away with quite a bit in this battle. So that KV-1 is just as easy to see on the low spec machine as it is on my better machine, if you will. Obviously once you've seen them, they're outlined in red anyway, and if you're me, then you're just as good at missing them on either machine. You know, it doesn't take too much to have a good frame rate. Even with an old computer, the game's very well optimized, so even if you're playing a very old, rather naff computer, you're gonna get good frames per second. And in fact, when I was setting this up, I found that I would get a very high frame per second, and then if I tried to push it any further, lots of things added up and it wouldn't play very well at all. And the game is quite brutal in its rearranging your settings to play at the right speed. So you'll find the game will change your settings if your game starts to fuck up. So we're starting to outflank the enemy, but I haven't really paid attention. Looks like the buildings suffer a little bit for being in low quality, but tanks still seem clear. See if I can get up, take out a few of these guys, you know. I'm a bit surprised that shell didn't go through, but there's I can't remember what that French tank is, but it's going to get G1B, that's going to get wasted. There you go, nice little kill there. Someone robs me of that, which is a shame. And I might get a good old hit on that fancy Swedish tank destroyer. builds on this map look to be just as naff on either machine. Not really an issue. Here I want to make a bit of a fuck up, you know, that thing with the Churchill, it hasn't got good gun depression, and I just go rolling over here trying to get ahead of everyone, want to get that kill there and get myself tracked like a complete noob. So, well, they can have it. I didn't want them anyway. So this game is pretty much in the bag, you know. They could come back and take us all out, but, you know, yeah, I've seen teams come back from this sort of game before, but it's not likely. Water effects suffer quite badly, but again, do you care? You know, if you've got a small rig and you just want to play a competitive, free-to-play game, I mean, that's, you know, if you have got a junky old machine, no point worrying about games you know definitely won't play that you might have to spend money on, but it's handy to have games like World of Tanks, and various Morphicas, Star Wars, Star Trek, jazz like that. How'd that dude get up there? Because they're free. But yeah, this one is quite well suited for playing on older shitty rigs. I mean, even this Vista machine is better than the minimum. So the minimum is Windows XP. If you're running XP, it needs 1.5 gigabytes of RAM and 2 gigabytes for Vista, because Vista kind of chews up memory. And it says a GeForce 6800. Not sure that compares to that thing I've got. I mean, that thing came out in 2011, and it's a low profile, zero power card. I'd smash up these builds and see about dust effects. Seems to get a bit more dust on the higher res versions, so maybe it's better to have it in lowest quality. Build seems to decay, just build and destruction, just the same as with either rig really. The game does come in HD and SD, so the standard definition for the low rig. And obviously some older models that Wargaming is not updating look almost as good on rubbish rigs as they do on quality games. Obviously you can't blame a poor computer for guys driving into rivers. Well, I hope you liked this video or was able to tolerate it. So if you have got an old machine that can't replay anything, it might be worth checking out World of Tanks. Not really World of Warships, that seems to be a bit demanding. This machine couldn't play World of Warships at all. But World of Tanks seems to be a game that will play on pretty much anything with a screen that isn't a potato. Check it out. I hope you liked the video. Leave a like and all that sort of jazz downstairs, and don't forget to subscribe for more disappointment. I'll see you next time, hopefully a bit sooner. I've been a bit slack on the videos, and I'll see you guys around. 486. This potato's out of date.